Talk series. At this time, please turn off all electronic devices, and we hope that you enjoy the show.
What's important to me is friendship.
What's important to me is family.
What's important to me is my chihuahuas. What's important to me is imagination.
What's important to me is my theater history grade.
What's important to me is the Hendry family.
What's important to me is imagination,
What's important to me is
my
coloring.
school,
What's important to me is
my
rainfall.
health,
What's
and
important
my
to me is
family.
30 Rock. Passion. What is important to you?
What's important to you?
What's important to you?
When I was 6 years old, once upon a very long time ago, I made this drawing. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them, does it frighten you? Does it? But they said, why should anyone be frightened of a hat? It was not a hat. So I drew it for them more clearly. Grown-ups always need to have things explained to them. Clearly, it was an elephant inside of a boa constrictor. But this time they said, put those crayons away and study arithmetic or geography or something important. So I did. But I always kept my first drawing with me as a test of true understanding. And no matter who I showed it to, they would always say, that is a hat. So I threw it away and never again spoke to them about boa constrictors, primeval forests, or stars. And I never again made another drawing. I lived my life alone. And I became a pilot and learned to pilot airplanes. And then, this one time, I had an accident with my plane in the desert of Sahara. What?
Draw me a sheep.
Hello? Hello? Who are you? Where? Hello? Hello? Oh my gosh. The storm. Oh, the engine trouble. The radio. The radio! Come in, Tangent, do you read me? Come in, Cairo, Morocco, anybody! Dang it.
If you please, draw me a sheep.
You? Here, in the desert? But how?
Draw me a sheep.
I don't draw.
You used to.
How would you know?
Draw me a sheep.
When a mystery is too overpowering, one dares not to disobey.
No, I don't want an elephant inside of a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor is very dangerous, and an elephant is very large. I need a sheep. You can see for yourself, that is not a sheep, it's a ram. See, it has horns. That sheep is too old. I need a sheep that will live a long time.
This is a box. The sheep you want is inside.
That is exactly the way I wanted it.
And that was how I made the acquaintance of this strange little man. The next day, as I worked on my plane 1,000 miles away from anyone, he appeared again. It took me a long time to learn where he came from. This little person who asked so many questions, but never seemed to hear the ones I asked.
It is true, isn't it, that sheep eat baobabs?
What?
It is true, isn't it?
Strictly speaking, yes, but baobabs are not little bushes, they're trees as big as castles.
Yes, but before they grow so big, the baobabs, they start out by being very little.
Yes. Where is your family? Okay. Why do you want the sheep to eat the little baobabs anyway? No? Oh, don't you ever answer a question?
What is this object?
Oh, that is not an object. Oh, that is my airplane. My friend.
Hello!
It doesn't talk. It's true I talk to it occasionally, but it doesn't answer back.
That doesn't seem very satisfactory.
It's an airplane. It flies.
Why aren't you flying now?
Because I crashed.
You crashed?
Yes. What's so funny? His laughter irritated me. I liked my misfortunes taken seriously.
You come from the sky. Which is your planet?
What?
Although, it is true on that airplane you couldn't have come very far.
You come from another planet?
Listen to that sunset! Do you hear the music?
What music?
Where I come from, the sunsets are much shorter, but there are so many more of them.
Enough of this. I have to get back to my plane.
One day, I watched the sunset 44 times.
44 times?
Come with me.
Enough of this. I have work to do. Important things.
Come. You see, where I am from, it is so small that all you have to do is move your chair a few steps, and you can watch the day end and the twilight fall as many times as you'd like. But here, you can walk and still be in the same magnificent sunset. One loves the sunset when one is so sad. I kept wondering what it was I was missing and wishing that I had it. So far from home, it's good to have someone to watch the sunset with. What is good about the box you've given me is that at night, my sheep can use it as its home.
And if you're good, I'll draw you a string and a post so you can tie him up during the day.
Tie him? What a strange idea.
Well, you might run off.
Run off? Where do you think he would go?
Anywhere. Straight ahead.
Straight ahead, no one can go very far. Look for me, tomorrow at sunset.
But why do you only come at sunset? And where do you think you're going? Look, I really don't intend to be here that long. Straight ahead, nobody can go very far. What's that supposed to mean? Let's see now. 1 half-eaten croissant. Stale. Some lovely cheese. Woo! Right. Some other thing? Sure, if I'm here long enough, I'll find it delectable. But I'm equally sure it's not going to come to that. It's never going to be more cooperative, right, my friend?
Talking to your friend who doesn't answer back?
Sunset so soon?
What is this object?
That's my water. It's my survival, thank you.
On my journey, I met a man who sold pills to quench thirst. If you took one a week, you would never need any water.
Those would come in handy. You don't happen to have any of those, do you?
If I were thirsty, I think I'd rather take a stroll to a spring of fresh water.
That would be nice, but Since there's no spring of fresh water here in the desert, and you don't happen to have any of those pills with you, I think I'd much rather... How long have you been on this journey?
Have you always been alone?
No. But I prefer it that way.
Do you?
What about you? You live alone on your planet and all
Do
that?
you hear the music?
Music? Do you mean, am I listening to the sunset? No, I don't hear any music.
I did.
Yes, I know, you hear the music.
No, I lived alone. Until the dawn. After the night of the 44 sunsets, you remember. I realize now that was the day my journey began.
What is this journey you keep talking about anyway?
Until then, I had led a very well-ordered life. I would wake up every morning with so many things to do. I have to clean out my 2 volcanoes. Actually, I have 3. The third one is extinct, but one never knows. And then there are the baobabs.
Ah, yes, the baobabs.
They burrow so deeply and spread their roots so wide that if I don't dig them up as soon as they appear, they could break my planet into pieces. It's very hard work. One day, after I finished, I realized something was missing.
Did you find the answer then? In the sunset?
No, not in the sunset. That morning, a seed blown from who knows where, a small sprout appeared. And it, not like any of the other small sprouts on my planet. So I watched it carefully. You see, it could have been some new kind of baobab. But it soon became clear it was something entirely new. It stopped growing and began to produce a flower. It chose its colors carefully and adjusted its petals one by one. A magnificent and glorious creature. And then, finally, oh, you are so beautiful. I am? Oh, yes. Oh, what's that? Beautiful? It's something pleasing to see. Oh, beautiful. What's that? That is a volcano. Oh, that's beautiful. And that's another volcano. Oh, that's beautiful too. And that's a volcano. There is so much to see here. You are the most beautiful flower. Oh, what's a flower? Why you? You're a flower. And you're the most beautiful one on my planet. There are other flowers here? Not unique like you. Unique. Like nothing else in all the world. Is unique as good as beautiful? Oh, yes. Oh, good. Oh! What's that? That's a thorn. Oh, I seem to have quite a few. I will try to be more careful. Oh, it's okay. It didn't hurt that much. Not really, anyway. I'm just happy that you're here with me. You and me? Oh, no, I'm you and you're me. This is very confusing. It doesn't matter, really, as long as we're here together. What? What's we? Oh, that's you and me together. We're we.
Sounds like a pretty jolly life you had there.
Oh, it was! She was beautiful, she was exciting. She was someone to talk to who answered back. We spent so many lovely times together, but eventually things changed.
Sounds familiar. You know, my experience with flowers has been much the same.
She seemed to resent every moment I spent away from her tending my chores. La, la, la. What is it? There's a monster crawling on me! That's not a monster, it's a caterpillar. They're marvelous creatures, really. One day, it will turn into a butterfly. But if it upsets you just a moment.
I seem to be very dry. Do you think I might have a drink?
Certainly, as soon as I dug up this last little baobab. Better?
Much better now, thank you. But now it seems I'm feeling a bit of a chill. Oh, but now it seems I'm terribly warm again.
And so it went, day after day, until finally I had to tell her. Don't you see, if I don't take care of my chores, the baobabs could become dangerous to you.
Well, go back to your baobabs then if they're so very important. Go on, go back to your precious weeds.
I was so confused. She was so beautiful, but she made me so upset. I had so many questions and no one to ask. I had to find some answers. I had to leave. And so I cleaned out my volcanoes for the last time, even the extinct one. And then, finally, goodbye. Goodbye.
Take the screen away, please.
But the wind.
The night air will do me good. I am a flower, after all.
Oh, well then let me get that last caterpillar.
No, leave it. I suppose I must endure the presence of 2 or 3 caterpillars if I wish to be acquainted with butterflies. It seems they are very beautiful. And if not for the caterpillars and butterflies, then who will I to talk to? You will be far away. And as for any larger creatures, I am not afraid. I have my thorns to protect me. Don't linger like this. You decided to go now, so go. And of course I'll... Goodbye.
And that was the last time I saw her. Is that my flower?
It's just a doodle.
You should really doodle more often. Of course, she has more petals than that, and the stem is really longer. She has 4 thorns.
Look, I told you. I've only ever drawn boa constrictors from the outside and boa constrictors from the inside.
That's all right. Children will understand.
Children will understand? It's not the children, it's the grown-ups who couldn't see.
It's really quite good. Not as good as my sheep, of course, but if you keep trying, who knows? Maybe one day you could be an artist instead of...
Instead of what? Look, I have work to do. Important things.
Important things?
Yes, important things. Besides, isn't it time for you to take your leave anyway? The sun is set after all.
Tomorrow.
How am I supposed to know the details of your flower anyway? More petals, longer stem. For all I know, the damn thing could look like. Who cares what it looks like?
I did the right thing, didn't I? Letting him leave. Oh, why did I do that? Why did he do that? Couldn't you see? Didn't you know? Of course I love you.
It's much better now. Much better than yesterday.
This isn't for you.
I see you've made the stem longer and you've added the 4 thorns. And a tear.
Well, I thought she probably felt sad.
Yes, you're right, of course. But all I knew then was how I felt. I was too young to know how to love her. The fact is, I didn't understand anything at all. So I flew away. I traveled from star to star. I drifted the cosmos until I came to a planet with a king seated upon a throne. He was clad in a red robe that almost entirely covered his planet, and though he had never met me before, he recognized me immediately.
Oh, a subject. Approach so that I may see you better. Tisk, tisk. It is not proper to yawn in the presence of a king. I order you not to yawn.
I can't help it. I traveled a long way and I haven't had any sleep.
Then I order you to yawn. It's been years since I've seen anybody yawn. Yes, yes, give us a good one now. It's an order.
I'm sorry. I guess I just can't anymore.
Then I order you sometimes to yawn and sometimes not to yawn. There, you see, my orders are very reasonable, don't you think?
May I sit down?
I order you to sit down.
Sir!
Sire?
Sire!
Sure.
Sire, excuse me for asking a question.
I order you to ask a question.
Over what do you rule?
Over everything.
Everything?
Everything.
And the stars obey?
Certainly they do. And the moon and sun as well.
Oh. Well then, if you please, could you possibly order a sunset? I should love to see a sunset.
And so you shall.
When?
Oh, soon, soon. I shall command it. I have to wait for conditions to be favorable, of course.
And when do you think that will be?
I'd say about 20 to 8. Then you will see how well I'm obeyed.
Excuse me, but I really should be going.
Oh, don't go, don't go. I'll make you Minister of Justice.
But there's no one here to judge.
Then you shall judge yourself. It is the most difficult thing of all.
Judge myself?
It is far more difficult to judge oneself than it is to judge others.
After that, I thought it might give some value to visit the other planets. What a good idea!
What?
You can draw them. That way, for whoever looks at your pictures, it will be as though they made my journey as well.
Oh, wait a minute, I told
As
you.
I approached the next planet, it appeared to be owned by a very grand person. And he recognized me as well.
An admirer!
Good morning! What a strange hat you're wearing.
It's a hat for acknowledging compliments. I erase it when people acclaim me. Unfortunately, nobody ever seems to pass by this way. But sit down, yes. Very good, very good. Now slap your hands together. Once more, yes. No, faster. Thank you. Oh, you admire me very much, now don't you? Oh, I just love it when you admire me.
Admire. What does that mean?
Oh, admire. It means you think I'm the most handsomest, most well-dressed, most richest, most intelligent man on this planet.
But you are the only man on this planet.
Even so, couldn't you just admire me anyway?
I agreed to admire him, but I didn't see why that would be so important to him. Oh, that's very good.
You think?
Yes, I can almost see him tipping his hat.
Grown-ups are very fond of hats.
I know. I found them to be altogether very strange.
So do I. Go on, what happened next?
There was so much I didn't understand. My flower, she cast her fragrance and radiance all over my planet. I ought to never have left her. The next planet that I came to was that of a businessman who was very busy.
2 and 3 make 5, 5 and 7 make 12.
Good morning!
26 6 and 5 make 31. That makes 501,622,733.
500 million what?
I can't stop now. I'm far too busy. Can't you see I have important things to do? 501 million. Darn it. 3,500.
Millions of what?
Millions of those little objects in the sky.
Flies?
No, glittering objects.
Fireflies?
No, golden objects that set lazy men to idle dreaming.
Oh, you mean the stars?
Yes, the stars. As for me, I'm concerned with important things. No time for idle dreaming in my life.
So you've said. But what do you do with 500 million stars?
What do I do with them?
Yes.
Nothing. I own them.
You own the stars?
Yes.
But I just met a king and he was telling
Kings
me.
do not own. They reign over. It's very different.
How can anyone own the stars?
To whom do they belong?
I don't know. To nobody.
They belong to me because I was the first to think of it.
And what good do you do the stars?
It makes me rich.
And what good does that do you?
It means I can put it in the bank.
What does that mean?
It means I write down the number of stars on a piece of paper and I put it in a drawer and lock it with a key.
Oh, well, I myself own a flower which I water every day, so it's of some use to my flower that I own her. But you are of no use at all to the stars. I traveled onward and soon saw a lonely, flickering light. And there, on a planet even smaller than my own, sat a sweet old man dressed for a cold winter, faithfully lighting his street lamp. Good morning! Why have you just put your lamp out?
Oh, those are the orders. Good morning.
What are the orders?
The orders that I, good evening.
But why have you just lighted it again?
Those are the orders.
I don't understand.
There's nothing to understand. Orders are orders. You see, I follow a terrible profession. In the old days, it was reasonable. I'd put my candle out in the morning, and in the evening, I'd light it again. I had the rest of the day for relaxation and the rest of the night for sleep.
The orders have changed since then?
The orders have not been changed. Good morning. You see, that is the tragedy. Year after year, my planet has turned faster and faster. Now, once every minute, I have to light my lamp and put it out again.
That's very funny. A day only lasts a minute here.
That's not funny at all. You see, while we've been talking together, a whole month has gone by. Good evening.
Well, I know a way you could rest whenever you wanted to.
Oh, you can? Tell me, I could always use some rest. Good morning.
Well, your planet is so small that you could walk all the way across in 3 steps. But if you walked slowly, very slowly, you can make the days last as long as you like. I do it on my planet all the time to make the sunsets come.
That won't do me any good, I'm afraid. You see, if I can do one thing in this life, that would be sleep. And you can't sleep when you're walking.
Then you're unlucky.
I am unlucky. Good evening. Good morning. Good evening. Good morning.
To me, that was the only man who wasn't selfish. Perhaps it's because he cared about his work. What he did was useful, and therefore beautiful. Your drawing looks very much like him.
Does it?
Yes. He was the only one I could have made my friend, but there wasn't enough room on his planet for 2 people. The last planet I came to was that of a geographer. What is a geographer?
A geographer is a scholar who knows the locations of all the mountains, rivers, oceans, and deserts.
Oh, that's very interesting. Your planet is so beautiful. Does it have any oceans?
I couldn't tell you.
Has it any mountains?
Don't know.
Oh, what about rivers? Towns? Deserts? But you're a geographer.
Exactly. But I'm not an explorer. Explorers count the towns, mountains, rivers, oceans, and deserts. Geographers on, you're an explorer. You could describe my planet to me. Oh, no, wait. You've come from far away. Describe your planet to me.
Oh. Well, I have a flower. She is the most beautiful thing on my planet.
We don't record flowers.
Why not?
Because they are ephemeral.
Ephemeral. What does that mean?
It means it's in danger of a speedy disappearance.
My flower is in danger of a speedy disappearance.
Certainly it is.
My flower is ephemeral, and she only has 4 words to protect herself against all the world, and I left her alone on my planet. What do I do?
Why don't you visit planet Earth? I hear it has a good reputation.
And so I did. And when I arrived there, I met somebody. Good evening.
Good evening.
What planet is this?
This is Earth. This is Africa.
Oh, so there are no men here on Earth.
This is the desert. There are no men in the desert. The Earth is very large.
Look at my star. It's right above us.
It's very beautiful.
I wonder whether the star shines so brightly so that each of us can find his way home.
What are you doing here?
I've been having trouble with the flower.
A flower? Ah.
Where are all the men? It's very lonely here in the desert.
It is also lonely among men.
You're a funny animal. You're no thicker than a finger.
But I'm more powerful than the finger of a king.
You can't be very powerful. You don't have any feet.
I can carry you further than any ship. Whomever I touch, I can send back to the planet from whence they came. But you are innocent and true and come from a star. You move me to pity. You are so weak on this earth made of granite, but I can help you someday. If you grow too homesick, I can. I can. Do you know who I am?
Oh, yes. Very well.
You shouldn't be talking to snakes, you know. They're dangerous. And you most certainly should not trust them. They're treacherous creatures. That's very good.
You've been hiding your talent.
What's going on here?
You shouldn't tell him not to trust me. I never lie. It's all a matter of perception. Lies, truth, snakes, hats, death, life. What appears to be is not always what it is, but then you know that. Or do you anymore? He knows who I am. Do you?
Understandably, I was upset. Not only were my food and water nearly gone, but now I was having serious hallucinations. I worked through the night and the next day determined to make my plane work when, of course, as usual, at sunset...
Please, I have to know. You have to tell me. It's very important.
What?
If sheep eat baobabs, do they also eat flowers? Please, it's very important.
Yes, we'll eat anything.
Even flowers that have thorns.
Even flowers that have thorns.
Why do they have them then? If the thorns
Come in,
don't protect
Tangents, you
them,
read me.
what use
Come in,
are the
Cairo,
thorns?
not Morocco. Anybody.
Why?
Oh. Flowers have thorns just for spite.
I don't believe you. Flowers are naive creatures. They would never do anything out of spite. If they hurt you, it's because they don't understand. And you actually believe that the...
No! I don't believe in anything. And this is the first thing that came to my head. Can't you see I'm busy with important things here?
Important things?
Yes! Important things.
You talk just like the grown-ups.
The grown-ups. I'm not like the grown-ups.
You mix everything up together. You confuse everything. I don't believe you could ever be an artist.
An artist? Being an artist is not going to get me out of here. This is a matter of life and death. Don't you understand? Do you know how much time I've wasted drawing pictures of your silly stories?
You are like the businessman.
The businessman? I'm not like the businessman.
He is never smelled a flower. He has never looked at a star. He has never loved anybody. And all day long, he says over and over again, just like you, I am busy with important things. But he is not a man. He is a mushroom. The flowers have been grown thorns for millions of years. For millions of years, the sheep have been eating them just the same. And it's not important to try to understand why the flowers go through so much trouble to grow these thorns if they're of no use to them.
Little man, please.
And I myself know one flower which is unique in all the world, but which some morning a sheep could destroy in a single bite without knowing what it's doing. And you think that's not important?
Please. I'm sorry. The flower you love is not in any danger. I'll draw you a muzzle for your sheep. I'll draw you a railing to put around your flower. I'll draw you anything. Grown up. So that's what I am, one of them. Have you gone just because the stars have come out? Or are you never coming back again? I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. I didn't know what to say. How to reach him. How I could ever manage the damage I had done. Then I had an idea. It's a muzzle for your sheep, so you don't have to worry about your flower anymore. But he was, of course, too far away to hear. It's such a secret place. The land of tears. Shh. Wait! Wait! I searched the desert through the night and all the next day, and of course I didn't see him until... so far away from home. It's nice to have someone to watch the sunset with. Once, I saw a beautiful house made with rosy-colored brick, with geraniums in the window and doves on the rooftop. And I thought about telling someone about it, but I knew from that description that no one would truly appreciate it. On the other hand, if I said I saw a house that cost $1 million, they would say, "Oh, what a beautiful house that must be." You see, I've realized I've become like those people. So sometimes when you talk to me, I can't truly appreciate how important things are to you. You see, I can't see sheep through the walls of boxes anymore.
What is this? It looks complicated.
It's a muzzle for your sheep, so you don't have to worry about your flower anymore. You put it on like this.
I see. How is your friend?
Him? No change, I'm afraid.
He'll be better soon. I'm sure of it. After I landed here nearly a year ago, I traveled to many places.
Oh, yes. Would you tell me about them? And so he continued to tell me his stories. And even though my circumstances were more dire than ever, I stopped and listened. And I drew.
After I met the snake, I crossed the desert and I met a single flower. A flower of no importance at all. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are all the men?
Men? I think there are 6 or 7 of them in existence. I saw them several years ago passing by, but one never knows where to find them. The wind just blows them away. They have no roots, and that makes their lives very difficult.
I see. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
After that, I climbed up a very high mountain. I thought from a mountain flower. She was always the first to speak. After that, I came to a road that led to a garden with a wall covered in flowers. Good morning!
Good morning.
As I approached, I saw that they all looked like my flower. Who are you?
We are roses.
But I thought my flower was the only one of her kind in the whole universe. I thought that I was rich with a flower that was unique in all the world. But all I had was a common rose. A common rose.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm right here under the apple tree.
Who are you? You're very pretty to look at.
I'm a fox.
Do you play with me? I'm so unhappy.
Play with you? I can't play with you.
Why not?
Because I'm not tame, and you're one of them.
Them?
The ones with guns. Hunters. Yeah, you're one of those hunters. Oh, sure, you don't look dangerous because you're little, but how can I trust you? No. This thing's all right. Better just...
I don't have a gun. See?
Well, then you'd better watch out for them, too.
What does that word mean? Tame.
You don't live around here, do you?
What does that mean? Tame.
Oh, what are you looking for?
I was looking for men.
Men? They have guns, and they hunt! It's very disturbing.
Oh.
They also have chickens. Guns and chickens. These are their only interests. Are you looking for chickens?
What?
Chickens.
No, I was looking for men.
Oh, that's right.
What does that mean? Tame.
You don't give up on a question, do you? It is an act too often neglected. It means to establish ties.
To establish ties.
Yeah. See, to me, you're just another little kid like 100,000 other little kids, and I have no need of you. And you? Well, you have no need of me. To you, I'm just another fox like 100,000 other foxes.
I see.
But if you tamed me, then to me, you'd be unique in all the world, and to you, I'd be unique in all the world. Well, and then we'd need each other.
I'm beginning to understand. There was a flower, a rose.
Like the ones on that wall down the road.
I think she tried to tame me.
Oh, it's possible. On Earth, one sees all sorts of strange things.
Oh, but it wasn't on Earth.
Wasn't on Earth.
No.
Some other planet, maybe.
Yes.
Right. Are there hunters on this planet?
No.
Are there chickens? Well, nothing's perfect.
No.
No. My life, it's... I hunt chickens. Men hunt me. All chickens are alike and all men are alike. It's very monotonous.
What?
We'll see. I search me out a chicken. Hey, a fella's gotta eat. But then, the hunters, they chase me through the forest and down the hill until I have to dive into a hole and hide from them until they give up. Every day, it's pretty much the same old thing. Search, run, hide. Sometimes I sit in that hole for hours just thinking.
About what?
About what it might be like if it was different. Someday someone came along, someone without a gun, someone whose footsteps would make me feel excited instead of sending me scurrying away. Someone who could tame me.
Oh, well, I'd like to really, but I don't have any time. I have so many things I need to understand.
You only understand the things you tame. Men have no time to understand anything, so they have no friends. If you want to understand, if you want a friend, you've got to tame me.
What must I do to tame you?
You must be very patient. I'm still a wild animal after all. First, we'll sit together in the grass. Then, I'll stare at you out of the corner of my eye and you will not say a word. Words are the source of misunderstanding. But every day we shall sit closer and closer, day after day.
Shall we begin?
Tomorrow. Meet me right here.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Like I said, my experience with humans hasn't been all that great. You okay over there?
I think so.
You know, maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
No, I'm okay, really. But what is it that I did?
Well, you can't just stroll up for a visit any time at all. If you're gonna tame me, you've got to come at the same time every day. Didn't I mention that? It's gotta be a ritual. If you come at the same time every day, then every day about an hour before you're due, I'll start getting really excited. Rituals are very important, especially in taming.
I think I understand.
Do you think so? Do you see those wheat fields down yonder? Well, wheat is of no use to me. I mean, the wheat fields have nothing to say to me, and that is sad. But you have hair that is the color of gold. Now, if you tamed me, the wheat, which is also golden, will bring me back the thought of you, and I shall love to listen to the wind in the wheat.
I understand now. Shall we begin?
Ready when you are. Not a word.
Country girls, they leave me alone. So I cut my hair, shine my shoes, threw my Sunday best on. I actually ride them down the misty road going.
Nice scarf.
Nice tail!
Well, thanks. It was a gift from my mother. And the day before that, the forest. Shall we dance today, or shall we chase each other through the wheat field?
I don't think so.
I know. Let's play hide and seek. All right! I've had lots of experience.
Not today.
You're thinking about your rose again, aren't you? Listen to me. Go and take another look at that wall full of roses, and you'll understand.
Understand?
You'll see. And then come back and say goodbye to me.
Goodbye?
Just go. And when you come back, I will tell you a secret.
save for the 2 or 3 we kept to become butterflies. Because it is she that I listened to when she grumbled, or when she asked questions, or even when she said nothing at all. Because she is my Rose.
I shall cry.
But you wanted me to tame you.
Yes. That is so.
Then it has done you no good.
It has done me good. Because of wheat fields. I will always remember you when I see them because they are the same color as your hair. One runs the risk of weeping a little when one allows himself to be tamed.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. And now here's my secret. It is a very simple secret. Repeat after me so you will always remember it. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly.
It is only with the heart that one can see rightly.
What is essential is invisible to the eye.
What is essential is invisible to the eye.
No!
What is it?
These stories of yours are very charming, but my plane is still not working and I don't have a single drop of water left to drink.
Oh, well, remember what my fox said.
This really is no longer a matter that has anything to do with your fox.
Why not?
Because I'm about to die of thirst. Not that there's anything I can do about it, and I suppose there are worse ways to die than listening to your stories.
It's a good thing to have a friend, even if one is going to die. I'm thirsty too. Let's look for a well.
In the desert?
One ought to never listen to the flowers. One should simply look at them and breathe in their fragrance. Mine perfumed my whole planet, but I didn't know how to take pleasure in her grace. I should have guessed the affection behind all of her silly little games. The men where you come from raise 5,000 flowers in a single garden and never find what they're looking for. And yet, what they're looking for could be found in a single rose or a little water.
A little water?
What a good idea. I'm tired too. Let's rest for a moment.
You know, in all the time we've been together, I've never seen you take a single drink of water. And yet, you did say you were thirsty, didn't you? Didn't you?
Water may also be good for the heart. The stars are beautiful because of a flower that cannot be seen.
Yes, I suppose so.
The desert is beautiful too. What makes it beautiful is that somewhere it hides a well.
Do you really think we'll find a well in the desert?
Remember what my fox said. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye.
Are you really hiding a well? And so, I took him in my arms and set out walking once more. It seemed to me that I was carrying a very fragile treasure. To me, it seemed there was nothing on earth as fragile. In the moonlight, I looked at his pale forehead, his locks of hair that trembled in the wind, and I said to myself, what I see here is nothing but a shell. What is most important is invisible. And what moved me so deeply about this little man. This little prince was his loyalty to a flower. The image of a rose that shone through his whole being like the flame of a lamp, even while he slept, as if he himself were a flame that might be extinguished by a little puff of wind. I carried him until I could not take another step, and just then, out of nowhere, as he said, like a miracle,
Look!
Nothing. Nothing at all. This is just so amazing. I feel as though I've been reborn. And you're responsible for this change in me. You brought me here. You took me on this incredible journey. You.
But you're wrong. It was you who walked all night through the desert. You who carried me. It was you who found the well.
Amazing.
Not really. I knew from the moment you showed me your drawing of my sheep in a box that all you needed was some time and a friend. And now look at you. You're tame.
Tame? Like your fox?
Exactly. Like my fox.
What is it? What are you thinking about? Do you want me to draw you another sheep to keep the one in the box company?
No. One will be sufficient. He can eat the baobabs while I give my rose the attention she requires.
I see.
My descent to Earth. Tonight will be its anniversary. I landed very near here.
So, when I met you here in the desert, then it wasn't by chance? You were on your way back to the place you landed. Perhaps because of the anniversary? You have plans I don't know about?
You must go now and fix your friend.
My friend? You are my friend!
Go now. Come back in the evening.
When I returned to my plane, unbelievable as it seems, though there had never been anything wrong, it started. The engine revved and the propeller spun like a top. I was so excited. I had to tell my friend the good news, so I ran back ahead of time, but when I found him...
Then you do not remember. This is not the exact spot. Yes. Yes, it's under my star where we first met. Exactly. You will see my tracks in the sand. I shall be there tonight. You have good poison. You're sure I won't suffer too long? Now go away!
What are you doing? Why are you talking with the snake?
I'm glad your friend is better. Now you can go home.
How did you know about that?
I too am going home today, but it's much further, much more difficult. Oh, I have your sheep and your sheep's box. Oh, and I have the muzzle.
Little man, you're afraid.
I'll be more afraid tonight.
Tell me this is all a bad dream. The snake, the meeting place, the star?
The thing that is important is the thing that is invisible. Like a flower on a star.
Yes, I know.
Like a well in the desert.
Yes.
Like an elephant inside of a boa constrictor. I knew from the moment I saw you asleep by your machine, looking more like a child than any grown-up I ever knew. I knew that you could give me what I needed.
What's that? What have I given you?
Why, my sheep, of course. You drew me my sheep in a box. Please don't cry.
One runs the risk of weeping when one allows himself to be tamed. Please, don't go. I want you to stay. I need you to stay. If you're gone, who will laugh for me?
Just because I'm gone doesn't mean I've gone away. Do you see my star up there?
Which one? There are so many.
Maybe that's just as well. Then all of the stars can be your friends.
What do you mean?
Each night watch the sun set and the stars come out. And my star will be one of those stars for you. And since I will be on one living, and since I will be on one laughing, it will be as though all the stars are laughing for you. Please don't come tonight. It will look a little as though I were dying, and that is not true. It's just this body is too heavy for me to carry all the way. The snake is just providing transportation. Don't be sad. All that will be left is an empty old shell. There's nothing sad about an empty old shell, is there? You must go now.
I will not leave you.
It's wrong for you to stay here. You will suffer.
I will not leave you.
It's really not worth the trouble.
I will not leave you.
Surely he only has enough poison for one bite. You know, it will be very nice. People have stars, but they aren't the same. For travelers, they're guides. For others, they're nothing but tiny lights. For still others, for scholars, they're problems. For my businessman, they were gold. But those are silent stars. You will have stars like no other. You'll always be my friend. And sometimes you'll open your window for the fun of it. And your friends will be confused to see you laughing at the stars, but you'll say, yes, it's the stars. They always make me laugh. And they'll think you're crazy. It'll be a nasty trick I played on you. Let me go on by myself. You know my flower. She only has 4 thorns to protect her against all the world. There. I am ready.
It has already been 6 years since my friend has been away from me with the sheep, and I have never yet told anyone the story until today. I have a selfish reason for telling you, though. It is to make sure I never forget him. To forget a friend is sad, and not everyone has had a friend. And if I forget him, I might once again become like the grown-ups. It's true, you know. He kept his promise. At night, I love to look at the stars because to me they sound like 500 million little bells. But there's one extraordinary thing. I realized I never drew a strap for the muzzle, so he would never be able to fasten it to a sheep. So now I keep wondering, well, what if the sheep is eating his rose? And at one time I said to myself, surely he watches over his sheep very carefully. And I wonder, and I worry. And no grown-up will ever understand why this is so important. To me, this is the loveliest and saddest landscape in all the world. It is here that the little prince appeared on earth and disappeared. Look at it carefully so you'll be sure to recognize it in case you travel to the African desert someday. And If you should see a little child who laughs, who has a golden yellow scarf, and who refuses to answer a single question, you will know who he is. If this should happen, would you please let me know he has returned?
Say